Hey, what's up YouTube? This is the Alchemic coming at you today with a new series. While this game is still fresh in my head, I would like to try and do something a little bit based off of the Trump deck teachings made by Trump, a Hearthstone player that I like to follow, and I definitely recommend for new players. This is sort of the wrap-up of the Pokemon 2015-2016 tournament season, and with Worlds coming up, I want to do a sort of series based on Trunk Deck's teachings, which basically, instead of teaching Hearthstone decks, I'll teach Pokemon decks, particularly because I'm unable to find a lot of guides for these newer players, and I have a lot of friends who want to start learning how to play the deck. It's like, or playing decks, and they're like, what decks are good? What decks do you recommend? Blah, blah, blah. So without further ado, I'm going to start this series, hopefully, with a deck that has a relatively simple goal in mind. It is the Vespiquen-Night March variant. This is the list used by Nick Robinson, the U.S. national champion for 2016. It has a relatively simple game plan, where you use cards like the Combi into Vespiquen line. This uses Be Revenge, which does 20 damage and 10 for each Pokemon in the discard pile, as well as, of course, your infamous Night Marchers in the form of Joltik, Lampent, and Pumpkaboo, particularly Joltik and Pumpkaboo, to attack, all utilizing the double colorless energy as a single attachment for a effectively very strong attack. Card that makes this deck work is Battle Compressor. Discard your Night Marchers from the deck, and just power up these attacks. They're very fast. Night Marcher does 20 times the number of Night Marchers in the discard. So, very straightforward game plan. Of course, you have your staples like Ultra Ball, VS Seeker, as well as the standard, This deck plays 4 Sycamores because you don't want to discard a lot of the Pokemon to the discard so that you can get the bonuses off of Vespiquen and the Night Marchers. You additionally play Lysander. Dimension Valley also is considered, I guess, an energy attachment. It allows your Pumpkaboos to attack for 1 less, which speeds up the Night March deck a lot. Of course, you're playing a staple in the form of Shaman EX. Setup ability allows you to draw a lot of cards. Some techs that Nick Robinson played in this deck are Town Map, which is quite commonly seen in a lot of Night March decks, because you want to find if any of those Night Marchers in the prize card zone, you must find them immediately so that you can make your Night March attack strong enough to one-shot EXs. Enhanced Hammer discards special energy, very straightforward. Escape Rope is the item form to switch Pokemon should you need it. You also play some Teammates, which is good. Searches out 2 cards if one of your Pokemon was knocked out during your opponent's last turn. Xerosic, discard the Pokemon tool or special energy. So that's a very straightforward game plan. Puzzle of Time is a card that is often used, usually to retrieve some cards like double colorless energy from the discard pile. Yeah, so it's a very straightforward deck. So let's see, we're going to go ahead and test a game out on ladder and see what happens. Alright, so it appears we are getting the coin flip. Let's go with heads on this. Win the coin flip. So oftentimes you are faced with the decision of does the Night March deck want to go first or second? Because this is particularly a decision that Night March has to make, because it likes to attack. It wants to attack first sometimes. So we're gonna, but depending on your matchup, you may or may not want to attack first. Especially against decks that play item locks, going first is actually a good idea. But this deck does, according to, I'm gonna go ahead and I'll usually pick second because I want to knock out my opponent's Pokemon first. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and start off with the Pumpkaboo, excuse me. This is usually the card you want to start off with. Often other decks will start off with Combi or Joltik. That's pretty much the ones that you prefer. But a deck like a deck. Joltik is also good. Usually you don't want to start Shaman. I mean, there's only very few cases, but right now it looks like we're against um, a Greninja Break deck, which is not a very fun deck to play against. It is an item lock deck, so going first would have actually been good in this situation. Um, but he will not be able to get a turn 1 Greninja, or no, it's an ability lock, I'm sorry. So abilities usually will not concern us in this. It's just that the only power comes from this Greninja XY Water Shuriken, I don't know, Shuriken, that will allow him to discard, or to prevent us, or basically kill, one-shot our Joltics for absolutely free. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that Dimension Valley up, play Sycamore, discard those 2 Night Marchers, and see. Ooh, this is not very good. We have no energy, which is not a favorable sight. Battle Compressor discards some of the Night Marchers from our hand. Um, and oftentimes players will use Battle Compressor to look through and see what cards are prized currently. So it looks like all energies remain there. It looks like 2 Puzzle of Times are prized. 1 Vespiquen is prized. I can't tell the rest just yet. But this is not good because we need to. This is not going to look good until I play the next Sycamore next turn. But one of the strengths of this deck is the Battle Compressor, allowing this deck to be very, very consistent. Discard the Night Marchers. However, this is one time where it's not showing up to be as consistent as usual. But oftentimes, the Sycamore will find you mostly everything you need. But I mean, I got rid of Night Marchers that I needed to, and he's very slow. He's only evolving that 1 Frogadier. So it looks like I drew one of the Puzzle of Time, which kind of sucks to have. The max HP I think I'm gonna have to kill is 130-ish, so I might feel safe. If I have, yeah, actually, I feel safer discarding this Pumpkaboo because I already have 3 on the bench, so I can just play the Sycamore without benching the Pumpkaboo. And it looks like we have drawn into a little bit the better half of our deck. I'm going to go ahead and use the Unknown's Farewell Letter. If you didn't know, Farewell Letter just discards it from your bench, you draw a card, and it doesn't count as a knockout, which is really good. I don't know if I need the other Battle Compressor at this point, but I'm going to go ahead and attach the energy to Pumpkaboo and knock it. Go ahead and knock this out. Let's see, do I need an Ultra Ball for anything? I don't think so. So Night March for, I don't know how much, a lot, 160 damage. That means there's 8 Night Marchers in the discard. And we pick up a prize Joltik, which is the last of the Night Marchers. Yeah, so 8 Night Marchers is good. But if you didn't know, so the Night March attack costs 3, but we have a double colorless energy, so that provides for 2, and then the Dimension Valley allows it to cost 1 less. So that's what allows the double colorless energy to Night March effectively instantly. So. Now this Frogadier is a very, very fun card to play against. I'm kidding, of course. Water Duplicates is a very strong ability. Enhanced Hammer will not see any play, it looks like. But it looks like the opponent is VS Seeker for the Ace Trainer. Card often not very seen. Not often seen. It's usually N is generally a better card. But in this case, it actually works pretty well for him. Now, if he's not unable to find a Greninja, oh, okay, never mind. He's able to, because I would be able to, if he uses the ability lock. Okay, so there's the Greninja, one of the cards that makes this deck shine. It's actually a Greninja Break, but it often takes too long to get to Greninja Break, and I can still one-shot it with my with Night March anyway. So. He's probably looking for Greninja Break. Octillery? Okay. So Octillery has the Abyssal Hand effect. I actually don't have this deck, so I won't be able to teach it, but it's a very straightforward strategy. You try and get the Frogadier on turn 2, you water Duplicates, and search out, wow, that's 3 Dive Balls. water duplicates, and then just evolve all your Greninjas, and just your opponent concedes the game effectively. So, but against this deck, against my deck, he is less. Well, I wouldn't say he's less favored, but it's a more balanced matchup because so a deck that Night March often struggle or is strong against is heavy EX decks because they allow you to they allow you to kill EXs, take 2 prizes, um, so that you're doing it, and then they kill your Pokemon, and you get a 2-for-1 trade. So you take 2 prizes, the opponent takes 1, but in this case, it's not as good because it's more of a 1-for-1 trade, and it's more of whoever has the more consistent deck. So the Moonlight Slash is going to do 60 damage or 80 damage potentially, depends. Okay, so yeah, 80 damage. This deck does not run Fighting Fury Belt, so however, something this deck actually has a little bit of a strength is playing Combi and the Vespiquen, because this will, no matter however much damage I do to him, it will be doubled because he has a weakness to grass. So, Ultra Ball for the Shaman EX, and then draw a little bit. I can get the full art one, doesn't matter. And then hopefully we're able to draw into Vespiquen. Oh wow, okay, there's an Ultra Ball, which is effectively the same thing. So, discard the Joltik in the Dimension Valley, find the Vespiquen, and now we are looking in a good position. Be Revenge does a lot of damage, especially 300 damage. Pick up the next prize card, and there's a victory. That is the power of this Night March deck. It's very strong, very consistent, and it's kind of what makes it one of the top decks in the game right now. Especially since the Nick Robinson won with this deck, won the national championship with this deck. Like in this game, my opponent has the coin flip, and I've won the coin flip. In this case, I will also go second. Let's see. Hopefully, it says, according to the game, which is not supposed to do this, but it shows what type your opponent's deck is, and my opponent's deck is Fire, which is unfavored against the Combi, but the Night Marchers should not have a problem with it. I'm going to go ahead and bench these. I see no problem in doing that. It appears to be a Mega Charizard deck, by the looks of it. Mega Charizard EX, some supporters, Special Energy, and it's the Generations. Oh no, never mind. It has a. So it looks to be an all-out sort of Charizard deck that we're playing against, which is sort of a rogue deck, a deck that is not very strong. So I will go ahead and take the extra cards in the mulligan. My opponent's starting Litleo. Litleo is not a very fun card to play against, especially because the Pyroar, when it comes down, has Intimidating Mane, preventing you from dealing damage with your basic Pokemon, which is not good. But opponent's passing, which basically means I have this one turn opportunity where I will be able to hopefully win the game simply by knocking out his only Pokemon in play. So let's go ahead, Battle Compressor, first discard those Night Marchers. Pump Kaboo gonna go also hit the discard pile. Third Battle Compressor, discard those Joltics. So we already have plenty of damage. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this Combi down. Will I need to escape? Yeah, I will. I will just do it so I can move the Joltik up. And if I draw a double colorless energy, I will win the game. And there's a double colorless energy, so that is going to be game over. This is sort of just the strength of Night March. As you can see, 180 damage on turn 1. You're able to just win the game immediately because of how consistent the deck is. So since that was so short, let's go ahead and hop into one last game before we call it a day. But yeah, like I said, it doesn't matter what your opponent's deck is when you're able to deal that much damage on the first turn. So according to the Pokemon thing that spoils, my opponent is playing a Psychic and Dark Pokemon deck. It looks like I lost the coin flip, so my opponent's going first. But oh, this is not good. We are starting Shaman EX, which is definitely not a place I want to be. So let's go ahead and look at our opponent's hand. He has quite a number of tools. There's some Trainer's Mails, Max Elixirs. That means his deck is going to have generally a relatively high count of energy. So he drew a card. We're going to go ahead and take that mulligan and go ahead and start Pumpkaboo. So opponent is playing a Tyranitar EX as his starter. That is going to be relatively slow. He can get the hammer in on turn 2, but it's not looking good already because starting Shaman is not somewhere that you want to be at all. Shaman is used, remember when Shaman is put onto the game, or into the active position, setup does not work. So, but luckily we have drawn 2 Ultra Balls, so we can go ahead and start getting the deck running. I think in this case I'm definitely going to find a Shaman, try and draw some cards, hopefully draw into a useful supporter or some battle compressors to get it going. Otherwise I can Ultra Ball for a Combi, and just start looking for, maybe getting ready to evolve, hopefully by the next turn. I might have to let him take this Shaman EX. Town Map is a good card on turn 1, I guess, to see what cards I have prized, and 2 Battle Compressors is not a place I want to be either. However, I think I know something I will be able to do. So since Hammer In is going to do 60 damage, I should probably let him take this, unless I'm able to find oh, okay, now I think I'm going to do it. I plan to Battle Compressor now, actually. Let's go ahead and discard the last Lampent, start sending some Pumpkaboos, but in fact, I'm going to discard 1 Sycamore, and that's something that Battle Compressor allows you to do. The flexibility is just so amazing. I'm going to play VS Seeker, and, oh no, not that card, Sycamore, back to the hand, and now we are back, we are right where we want to be. Since I'm going to discard this hand, I might as well Startling Megaphone, discard that Floatstone. Who knows, it could fulfill some role later on. Alright, so we have the 2 Puzzles of Time in our hand right now, which is actually pretty good, but I believe I'm just going to play this and pass the turn. Hopefully, oh, actually, wait, do I have, ooh, okay, I can go pretty aggressive, I think, if I'm lucky. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and try to. Let's play the Puzzle of Time actually, and then put a Ultra Ball in our hand and a Battle Compressor. I think, right? Yeah. All right. If we're able to deal 180 damage, that means 9 Night Marchers in the discard. Currently we have 4, and then there's 2 more that's going to join it. So 5 and 6. And then we can, oh, yeah, I think that is actually the game. I'm actually going to go ahead and go for an unknown. There's not much. It's better than picking up nothing, I guess. But now I'm going to go ahead and discard this, some more Night Marchers. That makes me 9, have 9. I can play Escape Rope and switch it with Pumpkaboo. And I'll play down the unknown Farewell Letter, excuse me. Look for a, just start looking for a, ooh, that's not good. I needed a Dimension Valley on that draw. Unable to find one, I have to pass the turn, and gives him another opportunity to play some Pokemon, and that's not good. Yeah, oh, okay, so there's no, if there is no, oh, okay, there's a Shaman. So if I knock this Pokemon out, he will not be dead. He will not lose the game. But he's unable, there's no double colorless energy. Hammering is not happening this turn. Or at least it's unlikely. Unless he has a combination of Max Elixir and Energy Switch. Mega Turbo, interesting. It could be a Mega Tyranitar, maybe, I think. I'm not sure if that's a card. I haven't done my research. But there's Experience Share, which is an interesting one. I don't know why you're going to equip it to this, but I guess if it's the only thing, he might have to Sky Return. Max Elixir finds nothing, and Muscle Band attached to Tyranitar. Evo Soda looking for a Mega Tyranitar, I believe? Yeah. And that is an interesting, I've never seen this before. 60 damage for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. Wow. Okay. That's a lot. And then the double may have up to 2 Pokemon tools attached to it. Okay. So, in order to kill this, I'm going to need 12 Night Marchers in the discard. And that is not possible. And since I do not have a... I do not have a... What's it called? I do not have a muscle band or anything. It's not going to be... It's definitely not possible now. I believe I probably just Lysander, look for Lysander. I think, is it discarded? Oh no. Okay, I have to play Ultra Ball then, I guess. I guess look for this card, Vespiquen. This might be my one out, I think. Gonna need to try and hope that I can find something. Now, I have to worry about not decking out. Ooh, that's not good. I can't find that Dimension Valley, and all 3 of them are still in the deck, which is not good at all. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and kind of last resort, retreat into Vespiquen, be revenged, do at least a little bit of damage, hopefully knocking it out relatively soon. But something I have to worry about now is decking out potentially, because I'm at 9 cards. The deck will thin your deck a lot because of Battle Compressor discarding a lot of cards. So, oh, there's a concede. But, yeah. It wasn't in a favorable position for us anyway, but that's just, I guess, he didn't think he would be able to win either. But anyway, that's this teaching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments what decks you guys want to do. Right now I'm going to start off with decks that I have and I know a little bit about before I move on to decks that I don't know about, because I actually need to learn a little bit about them. But this deck should be very simple and easy for you guys to learn. Until then, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next teachings.